Here's your wrestling news for October 17th, 2020. And your headlines for today include, is WWE planning Roman Reigns vs. Goldberg or The Fiend vs. Goldberg? New Day gets emotional after WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns' new attitude doesn't have too many fans in WWE locker room. Strowman breaks kayfabe and opens up. Yet another famous WWE wrestler's bad attitude is brought up for discussion. RVD talks training Ultimate Warrior for his in-ring return. Vince McMahon's planned WWE return match for Becky Lynch revealed. WWE Tryouts included second-generation wrestler and more standouts. WWE wrestler leaves a scar on his face from a brutal kick and more. We are kicking off with last night's SmackDown season premiere, and whilst some very special guests couldn't be there due to the ongoing situation, they found a way to show up. Keith Lee, Ric Flair, Mark Henry, Jeff Jarrett, and Bill Goldberg all showed up on the Thunderdome screens during the show, and the former Universal Champion made an interesting announcement at the time. On Instagram, Goldberg expressed his interest in the Universal title match between Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman, as the Hall of Famer was supposed to face the Tribal Chief at WrestleMania 36, but ended up losing the Universal title to Strowman instead. His last appearance on WWE TV, Goldberg later announced in August that he still has a few matches left on his current WWE contract, which will end in early 2023. Speaking on the Pop Culture Show at the time, he said, "I've got 2 matches per year. I've exhausted my limit this year quite early on April the 5th with WrestleMania under these really weird circumstances. My WWE commitment is still going strong. At 53, I never would have imagined, especially after making fun of Flair when he was doing it in his early 40s. Goldberg may have set his eyes on the Universal title after Reigns' successful title defense, though he's also got a certain superstar interested in him. Fans will remember Goldberg winning the Universal title at Super Showdown this year by beating The Fiend, and since then, Bray Wyatt has shown that he wasn't a big fan of this booking decision. Now Wyatt has teased a rematch, sharing a photo of the 2005 horror slasher film Santa's Slay, which stars Goldberg and received mixed to poor reviews. According to WrestleZone earlier this year, Goldberg's shocking Universal title win wasn't originally planned. As they explained, "We were told that Goldberg going over was a last-minute decision, apparently because Goldberg didn't want to risk damaging his image. It was noted that Goldberg bargained for creative control and pushed for the title win because The Fiend was a monster and the younger fans needed to see him come out victorious." The report added that Wyatt eventually agreed to put Goldberg over, which must have helped his image in the locker room, though given his tweets at the Hall of Famer in the months since, it remains to be seen if there's any real-life animosity between the two. In a tweet from August, Wyatt said he forgave Goldberg for taking the title from him in Saudi Arabia, though advised the WCW legend to walk away from any red, teasing that he won't be so forgiving if they cross paths again. Wyatt's second reign as Universal Champion ended after just a week when he lost the gold to Roman Reigns in a triple threat at Payback, and now both men are on different shows. But what would you like to see? A rematch of The Fiend vs. Goldberg, or the Goldberg-Reigns match we never got to see? Perhaps you don't want to see Goldberg at all and would prefer Reigns vs. The Fiend, and whatever your opinion is, leave your views in the comments below. Last night's SmackDown also saw the last match of the New Day, and though they defeated Sheamus, Cesaro, and Shinsuke Nakamura, the group were far from happy. In a post-match promo, Xavier Woods fought back tears as he spoke about the group's unbelievable bond, whilst Big E, who will now be on his own, spoke about how much time they spent together. Time that's done, at least for the time being. Clearly, all 3 men were emotional, and whilst there's always the chance the group could reunite years from now, things are going to be much different for all 3 men from now on. Sticking with SmackDown next, as Roman Reigns has displayed a new attitude since his SummerSlam return, and that's apparently the same backstage. While speaking to Sportskeeda, Braun Strowman said he's lost all respect for the Tribal Chief, adding that he's not a fan of his new attitude, and that likely goes for a lot of the guys in the locker room as well. "He helped me out a lot earlier in my career, and he went away and stuff in the beginning of this pandemic, and I applauded him for being selfish and taking care of himself and his family. That being said, I don't know where this attitude and smug chip on his shoulder that he's got since he's come back. I don't know if it's because he's got this parasite Paul Heyman in his ear, filling his head up full with all this crap and stuff like this, but at the end of the day, I feel like he is carrying the universal entitlement, just his attitude, his whole new attitude. I'm not really a fan of it. Reigns would go on to respond on Twitter saying that Strowman is a crowd-pandering puppet, and certainly backed his words up by retaining his universal title against the monster among men on last night's SmackDown. It's likely that Strowman had his working boots on during the interview, as there's been no reports of a real bad attitude by Reigns since his return, but you never know how much actual resentment might reside within the big man's words. We are looking ahead to Hell in a Cell next, as Drew McIntyre has launched another scathing shot at Randy Orton. Speaking to the UK Metro newspaper, the WWE champion spoke about the attitude problems that have been associated with Orton for years, pointing out that Orton himself has said he should have been fired a lot of times. He added, "The truth is, he was so good, so talented, and had so much potential, that's why he got away with." We'll have to see if Orton lives up to his potential and captures the title from McIntyre on October 25th, and according to recent rumors, that's exactly what's going to happen. We've got news from Monday Night Raw, as fans haven't seen Raw Underground for 2 weeks now, and it may not be coming back at all. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the shoot fight style segment is considered done and was initially dropped due to an outbreak of positive cases in NXT. They noted, "There was fear that bringing all those people, both the wrestlers and the people they used as the audience, to Raw tapings could start a spread to the Raw roster, and the idea is to keep NXT talent away from Raw and SmackDown talent as much as possible." It was also noted that those who may have been exposed have now returned to action, but that hasn't caused the company to bring the segment back. Many names from Raw Underground, such as Dabba-Kato, Arturo Ruas, and Viking Raider Eric, were ultimately drafted to Raw, so whilst there's a small possibility the segment could be brought back, it looks like Shane McMahon will be taking another hiatus from TV. From Raw back to SmackDown next, as the show is usually on the main Fox network, but is being moved next week. For the October 23rd show, SmackDown will be on FS1, as Game 3 of the World Series is getting in the way, though it will be on at the usual time. The last time SmackDown moved to FS1, they drew just 888,000 viewers, and hopefully the blue brand does better this time. We're looking at the Ultimate Warrior next, and though his last WWE match happened in 1996, he did wrestle as recently as 2008, thanks to Rob Van Dam. Speaking to Hannibal TV, RVD spoke about working with the Warrior, and that Warrior's wife had said her husband had respect for Van Dam after watching him compete on the same card he was on at an NWC event in 1995. RVD's training certainly paid off, as the 2008 match in Barcelona saw the Warrior defeat Orlando Jordan to become NWE World Champion. As of now, Van Dam is not under contract with any company and seems to be happy being in that place, though you can never say never when it comes to a WWE return. One person fans haven't seen for some time is Becky Lynch, who relinquished the Raw Women's title to Asuka on May 11th, the same night she announced her pregnancy. The man is expected to give birth in December, and according to our sources, Vince McMahon is hoping for Lynch to be back in January or February. A WWE source close to the situation said the plan is for Lynch versus Rousey in a singles contest for WrestleMania 37, pitting arguably the two most dominant former Raw Women's Champions against each other. They also added that McMahon is adamant about fans being physically present for next year's Showcase of the Immortals, and he believes that Rousey versus Lynch at the Thunderdome isn't an option. The ongoing global situation isn't the only issue, as Lynch would have to inform WWE about her availability, as the child of her and Seth Rollins will obviously take precedence. Ronda Rousey's contract is also a huge factor in whether this match happens, though in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer noted that Rousey is still under contract and is expected to be involved at WrestleMania. Time will tell whether WrestleMania 37 is the WWE is Back show that Vince McMahon wants it to be, and whilst Rousey vs. Lynch is a logical match to book if both women are able to return, that's a big if, especially given the circumstances. Now, WWE had to freeze a lot of plans due to the ongoing global situation, but now they've held another set of tryouts with some interesting names. Colby Corino was there, a name that fans have seen compete as enhancement talent, but is perhaps best known as the son of Steve Corino. Corino wasn't the only big name, as Evolve's Anthony Henry was there, as was GCW and New Japan Strong's Blake Christian, and we'll have to see how their careers go from here on. Over to the WWE draft next, as several shocking choices were made, which may have also shocked the superstars themselves. Fightful reports that superstars were told about their new home when Fox Sports released the information, and that at least one superstar was displeased about this. Some superstars only found out they weren't in the draft at all after reading the news online, and it remains to be seen what brand names like Becky Lynch, John Cena, and Jinder Mahal go to from here on. One person who won't be drafted is Lillian Garcia, who left WWE in 2016, though she's not left the wrestling world entirely. Not only will Lillian be a guest on The Bump on Wednesday, but she has a big announcement she'll make on Monday, with some fans expecting her to announce a return. The fact that the former ring announcer posed in front of a background similar to the current Raw logo certainly piqued fans' interests, and we won't have to wait long to see what Garcia is going to reveal. From 2012 to 2013, one match fans saw plenty of was The Miz and Kofi Kingston, and whilst it's hard to pick a favorite, we're sure there's one match the A-lister isn't a fan of. When the WWE Network Twitter account shared a clip of Kofi hitting Trouble in Paradise, saying the move didn't miss, Miz confirmed that it didn't, saying he still has the scar to prove it. Given the A-lister's vanity, we're sure he hated having his moneymaker messed up, and we may see The Miz return the favor now that both men are on Raw. Over to SmackDown, and Big E is now on his own, but that's not the only change for the former powerlifter. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it's noted that the idea is for Big E to not only get a singles push on the Blue brand without Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, but also to have a more serious character. As a former NXT and Intercontinental Champion, Big E knows what it means to be successful as a singles performer, and time will tell whether a more serious character is equally as successful for the talented 34-year-old. And we're ending today with documentary news, as the company is going back on the road for one of its projects. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the company is working on a brand new documentary focusing on the life of the British Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. As they reported, during Bloodsport, a WWE rep was filming the Davey Boy Smith Jr. match for a documentary that is being done on Davey Boy Smith, who they will be inducting into the Hall of Fame whenever they can do that ceremony, likely at this coming year's WrestleMania. It's possible that the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees will have to wait until next year to receive their inductions, as the company still hasn't announced a date or place for a ceremony, and haven't relented to doing a virtual ceremony either. It was also reported that WWE Network is working on, quote, a story about Davey Boy Smith for next year, and given that they were filming Davey Boy Smith Jr. all weekend long, this could turn into more down the line.